Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome back to Tea Break Chats and Q&A with Lindsey. I am happy to be here. It's been a few weeks since I've done my last one, so I took a break for Christmas, and I have a lot to talk about, strangely enough, huh? So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Lindsey Hall, and I'm an intimacy and empowerment coach. And to me, what that means is really helping people deepen an intimacy with themselves and with others, really live a joyful life that they absolutely fucking love, and really own their power and their pleasure. And I do this in lots of ways, including these tea break chats. Hey, Lee. So, like I said, I've had a time off for Christmas, and now I am back. And what I'm going to talk about today, I think, is this idea of having it all together, or feeling like you have to have it all figured out, have it all perfect in order to offer value to other people. And I want to call that out in society, in your belief system, in my belief system. Because although I very much don't believe it to be true, there's definitely parts of me that do, including the fact that it's now 2:15 and I'm only doing this tea break chat now. I have seemingly spent the day waiting to feel like I had something really useful to talk about, waiting to feel like I had my shit together. Because this morning I was like, yes, I finally feel some semblance of excited, go get him energy back again. It's been this is my first week back at work after the break. My kids are back in school this week, and it's been hard. I thought after the 2-week break, where I was off pretty much, you will not have seen many posts from me, you'll have barely seen any stories. I was pretty darn off, and I thought I was going to come back raring to go after the new year, and that is not what happened. Instead, I have come into this week kicking and screaming and shouting, not quite literally, but also not far off from that. There's been a lot of crying, there's been a lot of wanting to hide from the world, there's been a lot of temper tantrums. It's not been the hit the ground flying start that I honestly wanted for the year. I have big plans, I have goals, I already had a plan and a strategy in place, and I thought it was going to be a case of coming back in all rested, jump onto my plan and roll with it, run with it even. And like I said, it's just not worked out that way. So this morning was kind of this is the Thursday of the week, so my 4th day, and it was the first morning that I had to take the girls to school. So it was alarm set, get everybody up, dressed, out of the house, did the school drop off, and I came back and I was like, yes, I'm actually really feeling go get 'em energy. Ran a couple errands first thing, got that done, came back, sat down my journaling, was like, yeah, let's do this. And then I jumped on a coaching call for the business program that I'm in, and it brought all this stuff back up again. And I had to go off camera on this group call because I was just crying because I was feeling all of this business overwhelm coming back in. So then my day was back to the roller coaster and back to the resistance and back to some of the kicking and screaming. I was like, I can't come on and do the tea break chat while I'm feeling like this, when I'm all over the place. Who wants to hear me for yet another week talk about all the things? And then I pulled myself together and went, well, hang on a second. That's exactly what makes me a really good coach and why I should come on and talk about this. Because I know for a fact I am not the only one feeling that way this week. I have talked to quite a few of you who have said, oh my gosh, I'm in the January lull, or I've come back, especially entrepreneurs, self-employed people have come back and gone, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing business-wise. I feel like I'm lost and overwhelmed, and imposter syndrome is big time kicking my ass right now. These are the conversations that I have been having when I've been having conversations. I've also still been a bit hermity. So like I said, 100% I know for a fact I'm not the only person feeling this way. So that's why I need to come on and talk about it. Because if you are sitting there feeling like it's just me, everybody else is in New Year. I mean, I don't really actually see the New Year, New Me thing. That's the phrase everybody uses, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it for real right now for a while. But anyway, if you're in the New Year, New Me, or the put in place the big plans, and if you are the resolution type, or if you're just in a, I'm gonna like go forth with this, or fresh start, or any of that, if that's how you wanted it to be, and then actually you're not quite experiencing that, maybe you are kicking and screaming and being dragged into the new year and feel like just hibernating and feeling like I don't want to actually do any of this, or I want to do it, but I'm stuck in these trauma responses, I'm totally freezing up, whatever it is, you are 100% not alone in that. And it's not the end of the world. Now, one thing my coach has been talking to me about a lot is let's try to make this not wrong. Rather than kicking myself for this isn't the way I wanted it to look, and I'm frustrated that it is feeling this way, and like, what am I doing wrong that I'm struggling so hard right now to like get into the swing of things? What if instead of making that wrong, we just make that be? What if we just meet the moment where we're at and make that where we're at? And I'll tell you, still having a bit of resistance to that as well, but also it's true. Because the more that we fight against something, the more it actually like digs in its heels and is like, no, I'm here to stay. And you're like, oh, so you got these two like at loggerheads with each other. As opposed to finding ways to work with it. Now, I'm not saying let it completely like blow you over. Like I am not standing there on the beach letting the tidal wave just take me and being like, fine, I'm just going to be a big crying soggy mess for, forever. I don't want that. I have stuff I really want to do. I have goals I want to achieve, and I have to do some action to get there. Funnily enough, y'all aren't going to magically sign up for my new program if I don't actually make the sales page, tell you what the program is, talk about it with some of you. I cannot meet my goals of having people in my program if I don't finish making the program and tell people about it. There's stuff I actually want to do, but I don't want to spend so much energy fighting against this other energy that's there as well. So, what do we do about that? Well, part of it, good question, I'm right here with you. But also part of it, I can zoom out and go, all right, coach hat on, what do we do? And so we find ways to work with it. We find ways to let ourselves have some of the hibernation time that we need, some of the pulling in time that we need, make it easy, make it as easy as you can while still taking some of the actions. And maybe you don't do all of the actions that you wanted to do. Honestly, I wanted to have my program launched on Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas for any non-English folks watching. That was over 2 weeks ago. I'm not there yet. But what I am doing this week since I got back is I have been taking actions every day towards it. They're not massive actions. They're not the actions that have finished the program yet, but I'm not standing completely still. I am taking small actions towards my goal every day, knowing that those small actions do add up. Because I have this tendency, again, like I know a lot of you do, I have this tendency that I'll go, well, if I can't do everything I want all at once, I just am not going to do it. Or if I can't solve every problem, why would I even try to solve one? And this comes up a lot. So this week I've been going, okay, let's go. It's absolutely not admitting defeat. Admitting defeat is not doing any of it at all. It's going, can't get it all done, just not going to do it. I'm not doing that. But I am going, I can't get this all done at once. It's overwhelming to think about getting it all done at once. So I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to chip away at it. I've been doing that in my house life as well, like in other life, where I have got so many boxes of stuff to clear out of my house, like old clothes for the kids, old clothes for me. I've done toys clear out. And it's a lot of stuff sitting there. There's a lot that, like, I've got 4 big totes and another bag. And I can't list all of that at once online. So instead I'm going, well, let me just put a few things a day up online, or let me take the bits that I know are going to the charity shop. Let me take those out. So at least something is out of my house. Is there still a big pile of stuff? Yeah, but it's going to get a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. And it might not even be a noticeable smaller every day. It hasn't been so far this week. It hasn't been a noticeable difference, but I have gotten something out of my house every day. Similarly, and when I keep doing that, eventually it will go. And I know from my own past experience that when I do that, I will eventually pick up pace. It won't stay as like just a one or two things every day. I know that at some point it starts to gather momentum, and then I will get to it all being gone. So that's why the approach I'm taking my business too is, okay, I can't do all of it at once, because writing this whole launch program, I'm doing this launch in a different way than I've done before. And so although I know all of the individual steps, putting it together in this way is proving a bit overwhelming for my poor little brain. Hence some of the freezing and the meltdown. So instead of going, you have to have the whole launch sequence in place at once, this week I've been going, why don't you just check what you've written on that sales page? Are you happy with the sales page as it is? Do you need to change anything else on that? Done some tweaks on that. Then I've gone, okay, we need to get this video for the webinar, because I'm doing a free webinar about the top 3 skills that I think are crucial for making it your best divorce. And I've recorded the webinar already. So this week I've done the editing. I've chopped off the beginning and the end and got the video the way I want it, and I've uploaded it to the website. I also want it to be on another website that I don't know yet which website that even is, but I've got it on mine at least for now. So there's one step. Next step will be to find the other video hosting service that I want. Then instead of saying like you have to have the entire email sequence, it's like, how about I just write the first email? How about when you do, because there's also a quiz, that's what's your divorce archetype, your divorce alter ego. And so I've the quiz is already done, did that over the break, but it's like, okay, so how about I just write the first email that you're going to get after you take my quiz? Just write the one for now, rather than 3 or 4 or 5. So I've just been taking these little steps. Have they completed my launch program yet? Have I launched it out there? Not yet. But is it going to take me to some of these steps? Are they getting me in the right direction? Am I going to build momentum? Yeah, I am. And also, I've been being cozy. I'm all cozied up with my cardigan. You can't see but I've got big, extra fluffy slippers on today. I'm being gentle. I'm letting myself cry. And I'm going into my coach and voice notes with her and like fully pouring it out. I left a crying voice note today saying, oh, it's all so overwhelming. And then another one a little while later saying, okay, actually, I can breathe again now. And here's where I think I'm at. And so I'm getting support with this. And also, although I'm still feeling very hermity and drawn in and not wanting to talk to like a million people, I don't have to talk to a million people, but I'm making sure that I'm not cutting out everybody. So it's like inner circle only. And doing it in ways, again, that I can work with it. So my best friend and I tend to communicate. A lot of our communication is by a voice note back and forth. She's in St. Louis. We're a 6-hour time difference. We don't always get a chance to talk on the phone as much as we'd like. So most of it is voice notes back and forth. Well, she had messaged me over Christmas. I didn't respond. She sent me another voice note, like a 6-minute voice note, sometime in the Twixmas time. I didn't even listen or respond. She sent me another voice note. Listening to the voice notes were feeling overwhelming to me. And I finally sent her a voice note back and said, I'm really sorry. I haven't listened to your voice notes. This is how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling very hermity, don't want to talk to anybody, but I love you. Thank you for checking up on me, making sure I'm still alive, not giving up on me. I hope you're alive too. And I promise I will pay attention again soon. The next day she called me and I actually answered it. I was like, oh, I do want to talk to you. It's just that voice notes weren't working for me right now. Most of the time they do. Right now, voice notes were out. Then we talked for an hour and caught up on all of the things, so much more than we could have done in voice notes anyway. And I felt so much better afterwards. But rather than trying to force myself to do it in the way that we usually do, it just wasn't working. I was like, let's just have a phone call instead. Can we do that? And that worked. And it meant that I got to connect with the really important people who are good for my soul without having to do the things that were actually draining me. So finding these ways that we can work with the feelings we have instead of fighting against them, but also not letting them consume us and being able to still take some action towards what we want. Because although I don't want to make these feelings wrong, the fact that I'm still clearly needing more rest, more coziness, it's freaking winter. That's not unusual that I'm feeling that way. But the fact that I'm still needing this cozy time and that I'm not like sprinting away from the new year is, I don't want to make that wrong. And I don't want to just do nothing until the skies get lighter. I want to be doing these things because I know that they light me up. I know that they bring me so much joy if I can get past some of these resistance. So I'm figuring out what resistance is, I'm dealing with that, I'm getting support, and I'm taking the actions that are most supportive rather than ignoring it altogether. So that's kind of where we're at with things. I'm also drinking a lot of tea, actually less so with the tea. I'm drinking a lot of fizz sticks still. I haven't talked about fizz sticks in a long time, probably. Arbonne fizz sticks, they're little sachets, powder that you dump into either hot water or cold water, and they give you an energy boost, and I freaking love them. I've been on the fizz for, 4 years now? Yeah, I think it has been. No, 3 years. Yeah, 4 years that I've been on the Arbonne train. Love it so much. So I've been drinking a lot of fizz sticks to get me some energy boosts. But also time to start bringing in some other things that I know are good for me, including my boyfriend pointed out today, he asked me about kitchen dance parties, and I was like, man, I honestly can't remember the last kitchen dance party I had. And I love kitchen dance parties, and they're very good for my body, for my connection to my body, for grounding me. I also don't know the last time I did yoga. I need to do some more like physical care for me as well. So those are all the things. Like, I'm just gonna pick and choose from my toolkit what feels good and supportive. And all this is to say that, to totally normalize that I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. And if you're feeling this, I so got you. Like, do not do this alone. I know when I've been voice noting my coach, she's been having a struggle bus of a week too this week. Like, this is, it's an odd time of year. And this can come up at any time of year too. So if you're like, I also feel that way in February and July and September, and it can come up at any time of year. But I know my coach is also feeling it too. And she's still so supportive of me. And equally, although I'm feeling all this, I could just still be so supportive of you. And isn't that amazing? I freaking love this work. So if any of this is bringing anything up for you, and you're like, please, Lindsey, help me with it too. Yes, absolutely. Go to the link in my bio. It's also in my Instagram highlights, my Instagram stories highlights. Or just send me a message if that's easier. Send me a message. We can book a free call to talk about the one-to-one coaching options. Or if you're like, fuck a free call, I just want to get straight on an actual coaching call with you, you can do a one-off session for half the normal price. So it's £75, and you can book that in my bio as well, or send me a message and I'll send you the link. If you're like, I need a fucking coaching call, we can do that. I got you. That's all the things. Okay, I'm going to answer the really good question that I got this week. The question was, I'm trying to drink this before it goes cold. I made it way before this call and it's already like below room temperature. So the question I had this week was, how do you deal with the loss of a friendship, the breakdown of a friendship? And the context behind this is, both people have a lot going on in their lives right now and are struggling in various ways. And the friend who asked me the question has very much been struggling with her own stuff. And so the other friend is feeling like they're not getting as much support as they need and feeling rejected, which is one of their own personal triggers anyway, which they're aware of. And rightly so, how am I going to do this? Friend A is struggling with her own stuff and hasn't been able to give friend B much time lately. Friend B feels like they've got a lot of rejection stuff, feeling like friend A isn't supportive, etc. Friend A knows that that's fair because friend A is dealing with their own stuff too and hasn't been able to be there in a way that they have been in the past for friend B. So they've agreed to take some time off and not speak for a while. How do you cope with all of this? So my answer is, I actually think that you're doing great at it already. I think that recognizing between the two of you that neither one of you is getting what you needed right now from this friendship, and recognizing that was causing conflict, talking about what was causing that conflict, and then coming to the conclusion that actually just by stepping apart still was leaving these unmet needs, and maybe we should just take some time. Like a separation, like we talk about in romantic relationships, it's okay to do that in friend relationships as well. So by agreeing, actually, we just need to kind of stop talking for a while and give some space. I think you're doing all the right things, because when we think about the intimacy pyramid, and my coach Chelsea taught me this, Chelsea Page, and usually when I talk about it, I'm talking about it in a romantic relationship, but it very much can apply here too. But the intentional intimacy pyramid, so you got intimacy like this. The base layer is self, and intimacy with yourself. Then you go into emotional connection with other people, emotional intimacy. Then you go into physical intimacy, and then sexual intimacy at the top of the pyramid. But the intimacy with yourself is always the foundational layer here. And so this can come up, like I said, in friendships as well, where sometimes we need to go into us. We need to go deep into that self layer. And we do not have the ability to do the connection with others, the emotional connection with others, if we don't have that self piece down. And this can come and go. It's not like you just do the self piece once and then you move up, and like once you reach the top and you're like peak intimacy, like there's no going back. This is, we move up and down this level, this pyramid. So you're at a place right now where you need to focus on that self piece, on that foundation piece, and that is okay. And that might mean you don't have enough to give for the friendship. And same with friend B. Friend B is needing a lot of extra self-support right now and might not be having enough extra to give to you. And that's not bad or wrong. It doesn't make either of you bad people. It just means that right now you don't have the bandwidth to do that connection piece with each other. And in order to kind of protect that piece inside yourself, putting those energetic boundaries up for a while, maybe temporarily, maybe indefinitely, we don't know, only time will tell, but putting those boundaries up right now can be really helpful for each of you to be able to go into that self piece, do your work. When I say go into the self piece, I don't mean you're going to become a complete island and not talk to anybody else, but you might be getting support from other people in your lives. And you might be doing some of the work yourself. You might be seeing a therapist or a coach, or relying on your partner or your friends, or self-help books or podcasts, or all of the things. But right now, being each other's support is not working. And I think that recognizing that is the best piece. That said, that doesn't always make it feel good. I get that. So you might be listening to this being like, yeah, we're doing that, and I still feel awful. It sucks. Yeah, it might still feel awful and sucks. And it's like heartbreak, or not, it's like heartbreak. It is heartbreak, but it can be like a breakup. And so actually, I'm just going to do a plug for my little free class here. I've got a class on healing heartbreak, which although it was kind of aimed at, it was aimed at like the heartbreak and dating after divorce. It's about healing heartbreak, full stop. So this might be a good one to watch if you haven't. Check it out on again, if you go to is it in my bio right now? It's in my stories highlights. You should be able to get it in there, or send me a message and I'll give you the link for it. But yeah, I'm working on healing that heartbreak, because it sucks when a friendship takes a turn like that. And it sucks when you're like, oh, but I really like that person. It's just that it's really not working right now. That can be okay. And take steps to protect your heart, to heal your heart, because your heart it absolutely can and will heal, but also it might be feeling a little beat up and tender right now, and that's okay. So focusing on healing your heartbreak will also help all of this. So let me think if there's anything else. I can't think of anything else right now, so I think I will leave it there. And I'm going to go get my kids from school soon. If anybody rapidly has any dinner ideas, easy dinner ideas to cook tonight, please send me a message. I have no idea what I'm feeding my kids tonight. Not the point of this tea break chat though. So yes, that's all I'm going to say today. Like I said, if any of this has brought anything up and you want to talk about it more, we can either do a free intro call to talk about what one-to-one coaching would look like. We can talk about what your goals are, check that we're a good fit together. If you're like, no, I already know you and I know I need a coaching call with you, you can also just go ahead and book in a single session with me for half the normal price, just as a one-off, or you can do a coaching package. I can give you all the links for those. They are on my social media. They are on my website. But if you don't have my social media or my website, it's all Lindsey Hall Coaches, by the way. Lindsey Hall Coaches will get you all the things. But at any point ever, send me a message and I will give you all the things that you need. More than happy to do that. And then keep your eyes peeled, because at some point I will work through enough of these small little actions that I will have my new program coming out soon. I am very excited about it. It is a 6-month divorce support program. It's like the pieces that I've been doing individually for a year now and really been wanting to pull together into a longer term support package, because divorce is not a one-off thing at all. It's a chunk of time. It's a period of your life. It's a whole season. So for now, it's a 6-month program. It might get longer in the future. In my head, it's going to be a year-long thing at some point. But for this beta round, it's going to be 6 months. It's also a lower price than it will be going forward. So if you think that you want to jump into this beta round of my 6-month divorce program, keep your eyes peeled for the launch information. But even better yet, just send me a message and I will get you on the list so that you have it all. As soon as it comes, it'll land straight in your inbox, because with social media, you never know what you're going to see and not see. Like, the algorithm gods can decide that you don't actually get to see that content, even though you're super excited about it. So send me a message. I'll make sure you're on the list so it goes straight to your inbox. So you'll definitely get it if you are interested in that. Other than that, I will be back next week. It's going to be Thursday again next week, because I'm going to be away for my birthday at the first half of the week. And we're traveling back on the Wednesday. So Tea Break Chat will be Thursday. If you've got any questions for it, let me know in advance and I will answer them just like I did now. And I will see you later, alligator. Okay, love you. Bye.